we keep comparing mothers and wives, which I think is totally out of point. Why am I saying this? I think it's high time we begin to understand that women have several roles and responsibilities in our lives. Mothers have their own responsibilities, and our wives have their own responsibilities. So, comparing a wife and a mother does not make sense to me. Before I was thinking it makes sense, but then I recently discovered that there's no need to actually compare a wife and a mother, because these are two different entities, two different women playing different roles in a man's life. Mothers have their own roles in your life, whereas wives also have their own roles in a man's life. So we don't have to compare these two entities. Mothers play their own role in a man's life, and wives play their own roles in a man's life. These are two separate entities with independent responsibilities. For instance, a mother plays a role from childhood to when the man becomes a matured man, where he can emotionally, psychologically, financially think for himself, right? And then he gets to marry a wife that later plays the role from the point of marriage down till the day the man dies. So you can see that a wife and a mother have their own separate and independent and peculiar responsibilities that we don't have to compare. They are incomparable. We can't compare the role of a wife and the role of a mother. So when we're celebrating, or as we're celebrating yesterday, Mother's Day, right? So I thought we'll be celebrating wives as well, because a wife becomes a mother when she becomes a wife. She takes care of the man, the children, and then she builds her own family. She becomes the mother at that point in time to the man. The same way a mother becomes a mother when she gives birth to the man. So there are two different women that are significant to a man's life, and we can't compare them. They have their own peculiar assignments in a man's life. They have their own peculiar roles and responsibilities in a man's life, and I think we should appreciate that. Before I was trying to compare them, but then I recently discovered that there's no need to compare them, because they are peculiar in their own assignments. And if we're celebrating Mother's Day, we should as well celebrate our wives. Let's give them their flowers, because they are important and significant in their own way. So you can never compare, or don't ever compare, a wife and a mother. They are two separate women with great and peculiar responsibility in a man's life, which I think they should be appreciated. And we must give them their flowers. So to those men that compare their wife and their mothers, I don't think it is not necessary. We shouldn't do that. You can have a good wife and a good mother. You can have a good mother and a good wife, right? But we can't compare them and say, oh, my mother is better than my wife. Oh, no, 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 no. We don't have to do that. If you're buying gifts, buy for your wife and buy for your mother. All right? They deserve our love, our care, our attention, because they give us much. Depending on the time, the season, the duration, they have their own peculiar assignments. They have their own peculiar assignments. A mother has assignments from our childhood to when we become mature, and then the wife takes control from when we become mature as men, and then till death do us part forever. For instance, let me jokingly tell us, a man sucks the mother's breast when he's a child to the day he becomes matured, right? To get a wife. And then the day the man takes the wife, he begins to suck the wife's breast down till the day he dies. So we can't actually compare them. They are incomparable. They are significant in their own ways and peculiar. And I think we should respect all wives and all mothers, and we should stop comparing wives and mothers. Let's give them their flowers. Thank you, and see you next time.